Ethiopia, or rather, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, is located in the Horn of Africa and shares borders with Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Kenya, South Sudan, and Sudan. Covering 1,104,300 kilometers squared and a population of about 132 million inhabitants, Ethiopia is the 10th most populous country in the world. After being founded under the name Ancient Kingdom of Diamata in 980 BCE and the Zagwe dynasty in 960, Ethiopia finally established itself as the Ethiopian Empire in 1270. Following the Battle of Adwa against colonial Italy, Emperor Menelik II established the borders which are recognized as current Ethiopia in 1898. Ethiopia now stands as the only African country that has never been colonized despite brief occupations from fascist Italy and Great Britain during the Second World War. The Derg, a Soviet-backed military group, seized control over the country in 1974. Then, in 1991, the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, or EPRDF, instituted a new constitution and divided the country into 12 regional states based on ethnic borders. Today, Ethiopia is constantly disrupted by conflicts between regional states. The most recent conflict began in 2018 and is still going on today, disrupting the flow of humanitarian aid and peace.
The time I born, I had a leading part of the government called Dirk. He led the country for 70 years. Finally, got thrown over by the people. People fed up on him, and then the next one comes, and the TPLF. They led for the country for 27 years, and the country went war against each other from one part of the state. You cannot mostly led from outsiders. I've been protest through the life they have as not established as peacefully to enjoy the peoples. That is the part I miss, and always make me it's hard to describe the life, how people lives, and in the meantime it's really a blessed country. It's the spiritual war kept the country to become safe, so no one can overcome or overtake.
In 2018, Ethiopia entered a hopeful new era with the rise of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his government. Hailed as reformist, Ahmed promises of unity and progress for Ethiopia's diverse and deeply divided ethnic groups granted his party massive support, and early on, his reforms initiating democratic process and social change showed great promise. However, still under his reign, Ethiopian ethnic divisions widened. The country's ethnic federalist system, which grants regions autonomy based on ethnicity, having fueled competition and resentment. Groups like the Amhara and Oromo, Ethiopia's largest ethnic groups, push for greater political representation and control over resources. Meanwhile, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, despite only representing 6% of the country's population, have been the dominant force in its politics for decades. Tensions between the new federal government, its rising Amhara and Oromo supporters, and the TPLF boiled over in the late 2020, sparkling a brutal conflict in the northern Tigray region. The Tigray War devastated millions, with widespread reports of atrocities, famine, and mass displacement. As the war spread, militia groups aligned with the government began to accumulate power, having newfound unrestricted access to recruitment, arms, and popular support. A prime example of this is Fano, a group representing the Amharan ethnic region. Fano, meaning vanguard in traditional Amharic, has represented the Amharan region since the mid-2010s, being deeply tied to its culture and people. The Tigray War mobilized many Amhara youth, with their numbers swelling in the early months of the conflict. This partnership between the EPLF and Fano brought the TPLF to peace talks in the Pretoria Peace Agreement in 2022, but had unintended consequences when after the Tigray War, Fano refused to disband, maintaining its influence and autonomy in the Amhara region. This has led to tensions with the Ethiopian federal government, which sees this group as a challenge to centralized authority.
When you left Ethiopia, did you expect to come back? And how did it feel when you weren't able to?
It's sad, very sad. The place you grow up, the place you enjoy, and you think the place you come from and the country. Everybody has their own place where they come from, and they have a deep memory. That's a deep connection, and going back and visit the rest of your relatives, extended families, unable to do that, it is difficult, and you miss out a lot, and all the new part of your family grown up, and you don't even recognize them anymore because of you've been lived a long time, and things change. So it is sad. The fear kept me away from the family.
The central government has been fighting back against Fano influence, however, beginning crackdowns on militia groups in early 2023. These crackdowns were met with equal force, leading to violent clashes in the Ahmar region, which are still ongoing today. Fano's rise isn't solitary, reflecting a broader trend of regional militarization across Ethiopia. And in a system where ethnic regions have their own special forces and militias, groups like Fano have become symbols of resistance against centralization, posing questions to the future of the Ethiopian government and its peoples. Meanwhile, the system that gives power to these regions continues to be a source of division. Calls for reforms are growing, but any changes risk inflaming already high tensions. In general, the country stands at a crossroads, with its leaders facing the difficult task of addressing ethnic grievances while maintaining national cohesion in an increasingly polarizing environment.
Addis Ababa serves as a vital hub for African and international diplomacy, hosting the headquarters of the African Union, the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the African Standby Force, and numerous global non-governmental organizations focused on Africa's development and welfare. Ethiopia, a founding member of the United Nations, is one of the strongest peacekeeping partners, contributing to over 8,300 uniformed personnel to UN peacekeeping missions, making it one of the largest contributors globally. Ethiopia's commitment to international peacekeeping is long-standing. It was among the nations that sent contingents to restore order and stability in the Republic of Congo following a Security Council mandate. However, Ethiopia's internal conflict poses a grave challenge, not only as a national tragedy, but as a crisis that undermines global principles of peace and humanity. The international community, led by the UN and African nations, must work together to address the immediate suffering while fostering a path towards long-term reconciliation. Documentaries and educational initiatives are essential tools in this effort, ensuring the global community does not avert its gaze. By raising awareness, these initiatives can inspire action, transforming knowledge into meaningful support for peace and recovery in Ethiopia.
How beautiful as it is, the country, but it's fed up by war. Each each other, brother against brothers.
La la la